Ladies, good to see you both. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Hi. All right. Well, a lot to get to today because I saw some of the stuff that you covered, and I want to riff off of that. But I want to start with this COVID thing that came out yesterday. I played the clip a second ago. Bobby Kennedy announcing that COVID's not going to be on a required vaccine. I think this is another, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it just shows that like a lot of these promises politicians make go by the wayside, and we hear Washington make excuses. I can't do that. I can't do this. I just feel like it's almost like we've gotten used to now, like people following through on what they said they were going to do. And this is just another example. Daisy, I'll start with you. I mean, what do you think this is? How big of a deal do you think this is?
I think it's a big deal. I think it shows that they were wrong about some things. So it is kind of a big deal. But then it also makes liberals freak out because we're hearing, oh my gosh, she's taking our vaccine away. So it gives fuel to that fire, which is insane because nobody's taking your vaccines away. If you want to go get, 18 boosters, go get 18 boosters. Nobody's stopping you. So it adds fuel to different fires everywhere.
Yeah, but you know what, Mark? The thing that is intriguing to me, maybe I'm just become a bigger and bigger cynic as I get older. I think that's what like guys do is they like, come get off my lawn, But I think
we shake all the rakes.
We shake rakes. We totally shake rakes.
Okay, well, so I think that this is always about money, and what happens is I didn't realize this until I started reading a little bit about this in the last 24 hours. The bottom line is that insurance companies must, keyword must, cover vaccines if the CDC recommends them. So as soon as the CDC stops recommending them, guess what? Pharma doesn't get as much money.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true. And I think that's why people like Elizabeth Warren are all like, this is a ban on vaccines. She's trying to... she's trying to wordsmith.
But look, I want to show you this because
this is doing because everybody can still access them. Yes, you might have to pay for them out of pocket, but the point is that RFK promised there was going to actually be testing and data supporting any vaccine that was going to be on the recommended CDC guidelines list. Everybody should want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand why this is anything that people are like, how dare they remove something that hasn't been thoroughly tested and has all the scientific backing. And instead they're like, oh my God, they're banning something that I want 12 boosters of.
Yeah, especially for pregnant women and children.
Right.
Hello. Yeah.
Well, all right. So it wasn't just Elizabeth Warren. Let me show you the CNN didn't really take the news too well. Take a look.
The FDA announced just last week that the department would make changes to the COVID vaccine approvals that might limit future shots to seniors and those who are at higher risk of infection. Healthy adults and kids will likely lose access. I want to bring in Dr. Paul Offit, director of the Vaccine Education Center at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and a member of the FDA Vaccine Advisory Committee. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Offit. First, your reaction to this new guidance on COVID-19 vaccine boosters.
I think it's a bad recommendation. I mean, you certainly know that by 6 months of age, all children will be vulnerable to a virus that is continuing to circulate. There have been retrospective studies looking at children, meaning people less than 18 years of age, who've gotten a yearly vaccine to show that there is benefit. So it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so let's just back up for a second, guys. Like, let's remember what, and I think Daisy, you said it. I already forgot who said it, but like, this isn't losing access as they are trying to portray this. This is not making it mandatory. There's a big difference, but they want to scare you to make it think like, oh, you won't be able to get it. If you walk down to CVS or Walgreens or whatever and you want it, you'll still be able to get it.
Yeah. They're making it sound like it's disappeared now. It's like
he's banned it. It's been banned.
Yeah, it's been
banned.
Get
it. Yeah. You can get it if you want to get it. Go get it. Nobody's stopping you. It's still a free country.
Okay, so here's the funny part about this. You mentioned Elizabeth Warren. We've got CNN. All this is bad or whatever. And I guess this is probably taking it a little bit of a stretch, but Pete Buttigieg, who has grown a big boy beard, is now saying that how they handled. Why is that funny? He's a big boy now. He can ride his bike all the way to the store by himself.
He stopped chest feeding and grew a beard. Is that what happened?
He can ride his bike all the way to the store now without having a parent. But he did a podcast where he basically said that how they handled COVID was one of their big mistakes as Democrats. I want to play you this because again, you get to see how Big Boy Pete is sort of trying to, I think, get himself in position for 2028. But take a
Mhm.
listen to how he talks about what they did with COVID.
We're going to go back to like right after Biden gets the nomination in 2020. So, you just endorsed him. He hasn't picked Vice President Harris yet. Where the world is our oyster. We're in the middle of COVID. And you're Pete from today. And you get to talk to Pete from back then, or maybe Biden from back then. And you get to give them some advice. That would maybe prevent us from having this current president. What do you think you all should have done differently?
One, for the love of God, figure out a way to get the schools open sooner. We got very knee-jerk about this, and the costs were not just politically, but in a profound way. I think for the generation, the costs were profound, and I think anybody who was involved, who was, by the way, obviously doing their best to deal with a crisis that killed a million Americans.
Sure.
But I think most people involved would like to be able to have found a way to safely get more schools open more quickly. Obviously,
that was a great first answer. I had no idea there's so many ways you could have gone with that, but that's a good one. I didn't expect you to say
from where I'm sitting, obviously pay more attention to the border.
So we can talk about the pay attention to the border, but it's amazing how many of these things that he's acting like somehow they weren't responsible. He's like, we should have allowed kids to go back to school. They were allowed. Again, this is like the other issue. You're acting like somehow there was this existential force that prevented you from keeping the schools open. You guys in the Biden administration shut down a lot of things. And then now you're like, gosh, we should have done that and we should have closed the border. No kidding. I mean,
Yeah.
To me, this is so amazing that like, I feel like they act like they weren't there. Like they're, you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
What advice would you have given them? Well, I certainly wouldn't have chosen Kamala Harris. I mean, like they were all part of this process of having to deal with COVID, of not saying anything on the border. And now they're acting like somehow they're doing color commentary on a game.
They're Jake Tappering it. That's what they're doing. They're doing the whole, it was this force field of dumbassery that we couldn't break through. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely, they're all grifters now. And they're like, he just admitted how completely wrong they were on so many things. Okay.
But more importantly, he admitted that we were right. And that's what keeps happening. We were right about the border. We were right about COVID. We were right about Biden's mental acuity.
Right.
That's the main point. It's not even that they're taking ownership of being wrong. It's that they're openly saying conservatives are actually right about everything and we're just figuring it out.
But they won't say that part,
message.
right? They won't say that part. They won't say it's not. And again, this gets back to this whole discussion. Like they're acting like somebody wasn't advocating for that. And you're right. It's like we were the ones saying, yeah, this is not smart. And they're like, gosh, I wish somebody had said it.
That's why Trump won. That's why we are where we are now. And then in the same breath, he'll turn around and be like, you should totally vote for somebody like me.
By the way,
what?
All right. This is a perfect segue. By the way, I do want to get into Jake Tapper because it's so beautiful, this evolution, and you touched on it, but it's like, it is unbelievable where he's gone. But I want to finish this out because Pete was asked, he's obviously positioning himself for 2028, as I mentioned, and he was talking about how they want to position themselves and the issues and stuff. And obviously they have an issue with men in particular. So let me play you sort of what I thought was an unreal and frankly, no one is talking about this from what I can tell this morning, but this is another clip from the same interview about how he thinks they need to go after Republicans or the issues that are important to them. Take a look.
Of course, we should be talking about how, if Speaker Johnson got his way, it wouldn't be possible, not just for gay people to get married, but for straight people to get divorced, let alone like birth control or how he would want to regulate porn or whatever. Most people would have a problem.
Okay, key phrase there. Hold on. I just want to make sure you all heard that. How he would want to regulate porn. I've been in politics for 30 years. I've never met a voter that says, hey, I want to talk to you about tax policy and porn.
You haven't? You've never met anything like that?
No,
Really?
you're down there in Texas.
You're in DC, right?
Well, in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. So I literally, I couldn't believe that didn't blow up. Like, I'm sorry, this guy was elected mayor. He was the Secretary of Transportation. And then he's like, also, how they're going to regulate porn. I didn't even know that there was an issue on anyone's side. Like, no one has ever said to me, that's going to be an issue in fill in the blank election.
It's
I
not
can't
on
believe
the dance
that
card.
Pete Buttigieg, you do have to wonder when someone brings up that kind of a thing, right? Just tell me if I'm wrong here. If someone said to you, like, you know, what do you want for lunch? And you name 4 things, and you kind of is like a window into like what they're hungry for, right? The idea that out of nowhere he's bringing up regulating porn to me says that he might have a porn problem or a porn addiction.
Maybe just a little. Yeah.
Maybe just a little.
Maybe just a little bit.
Because to me, that was like, that just was a big tell. Like Pete Buttigieg has some kind of issue where he's like, please don't regulate porn.
Keep your hands off my porn. I do think it's interesting when you brought up the whole beard thing, though. I was kind of zoned in on that when I was watching that first clip that you played. And then if you notice, he's like drinking his black coffee and with his beard. I mean, they really are rebranding this guy. They're rebranding.
They're trying.
They are. It's crazy.
He's definitely going hunting this weekend, isn't he? He's going hunting.
Well, he's at least cosplaying a hunter like Tim Walz, right?
Right.
He's going to be
fixing
cars
is, you guys
soon.
do know, see, and this is why I love our conversations, because no one is seeing around the corner. And what's the biggest problem that he's going to face if he tries to go hunting? Do you know?
He's utterly inauthentic.
No. He already told us the problem. See, this is the issue. If
porn?
you go hunting, how are you going to access your porn if you're out there in the woods?
You can't. I mean, there's no porn.
I guess you could download it, but then it comes into the whole regulation thing. I don't know.
The bears start coming near you. It's like it's all crazy. It's crazy.
All right. Well, so we know Pete's trying to run and set himself up as a porn-loving, beard-growing dude. But that's going to be their new line. Like, look, the Republicans want to take your porn away. I mean, like...
I feel like they did that, though. They did that during the last election. I swear we talked about it at least once about,
oh my God.
Yeah, like there were some freaks that were like, the Republicans are, don't touch our porn. I feel like maybe I dreamed that, but I feel like we talked about that at least once because they're such degenerates. Yeah.
I have John and Jim McLaughlin on the show later this week. I'm going to ask them, be like, okay, in all your years of polling, how big of an issue is porn and porn regulation? Because the idea that like anyway, I'll say enough, but the thing that was interesting to me playing off Pete, right? Politico did this story, which I found fascinating. It basically says like, okay, we've got a leadership problem, right? Everyone knows that. They're all trying to recast themselves. Tim Walz, now Pete Buttigieg's all like, hey, we're dudes. We hunt, we fish. We drive pickup trucks. We love porn, and now the Politico
love gay porn, right?
Okay,
it's totally different.
So Politico does this story that they should basically have a shadow cat. Oh my gosh! I knew you were going there. If you're listening to the audio,
I said the gay porn, and then she had to do it.
She had to do it.
We're never coming back, Mock. We're never coming back to the show.
I just ask. Can I ask where that came from? Like, was this like an Etsy purchase?
You know what? I genuinely don't remember. I saw somebody else online in a shirt that said taxes are gay on it. And I was like, I have to have that. And I just like Googled it. And the first
Mock, have you ever walked out of the house with that?
Yeah. Okay. I wear it happily in public.
But okay, so just I gotta go there now. Like, what are the reactions? Do people come up to you and be like, "I agree"?
I don't know because I don't pay attention to my surroundings.
She doesn't care. Yeah, her head's not on a swivel like mine is. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I try to tell her that she should do that. But listen, the point of this is that in her Google search, like if something ever happened to her, is that in her Google search, she has taxes are gay. Like in her Google search, that's going to be
T-shirt. Taxes are gay T-shirt.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, we're off the rails. Sorry.
Yeah, I think maybe Pete's going to get one too. That would be a good Christmas present for him.
We should totally send it to him. Yes.
No. Who knows what else he gets in the mail?
He'd be like, I ordered porn. I didn't order this.
Where did this come from?
I asked for porn for Christmas.
All right. So getting back to Politico's story, they put together this dream team shadow cabinet. Now, if you're familiar with like the British system, there's like shadow people, like the people from the other party, the minority party that would basically take over. So you have like the shadow chancellor of the exchequer, which I got to be honest with you, of all titles, like I would, if I ever had to live in Britain and run for office, I'd want to be the Chancellor of the Exchequer, because I just think that sounds the coolest thing ever. What do you do
really
for
cool.
a living?
It's
I'm
very
the
cool.
Chancellor of the Exchequer.
That
But
is
anyway,
cool.
so Politico does this thing on the shadow cabinet. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, let me just ask you guys, in all seriousness, if you said, who should be the shadow attorney general? I don't know if you read this article or not. And if you have, you have to confess. But if you haven't, who do you think that they think should be the shadow attorney general?
The shadow attorney general on the liberal side.
Yeah.
Kamala.
Oh, interesting. Mock?
I didn't read it, and so, but like if I had to guess, I saw the pictures on the on the cover.
That's
or
just
whatever.
like that's like Pete. He just looks at the pictures.
Not in gay porn.
Oh,
I'm sorry. We got
okay.
full circle. I'm sorry. But
This video is getting banned.
the reason I said Kamala is because she's unemployed. She said she was unemployed, and so
That's true.
naturally,
unemployed.
I love her fake laugh. I'm unemployed.
Exactly.
I can't even do the
Actually.
Kamala laugh. All right.
And then
so, Mock,
the
give me a name.
next line was, "I'm sorry, I have to tell the truth." That was the funniest part of her little line there. I genuinely have no idea, except that I saw Nikki Glazer as one of the
We'll get to
pictures,
Nikki in a second.
and I was like,
all right.
I don't
I'll
even
give you the right. I'll give you the Politico write-up of this person's expertise and qualifications. If that maybe that will help you. It says perhaps the most effective Democrats in the country right now are the 22 Democratic state attorneys general tying up Trump's executive orders in the courts. But only one can say she won a civil
It's
fraud
Letitia
case.
James.
That's it, Miss Letitia James.
Yeah, Letitia James. What's her nickname again? What's her nickname?
Big Tish.
Big Tish. Big Tish.
Hey. Are we still talking about Pete and his... Oh, wait.
Big Tish. Yeah.
All right. So who do you think that should be the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, the shadow secretary? Because this person's eminently qualified. There's no question about it. If you think about the VA and all it does for veterans and understanding the healthcare issues, who would lead on the left that effort for them should they come back in? Who do you think it is? Daisy, I'm going back to you. Who do you think is...
Gosh, I have to think of somebody qualified on their side.
Oh, yeah. Think about...
like Veterans Affairs?
Well,
they wouldn't just shove Rachel Levine in there or something.
Well, that again,
Rachel Levine.
Sure. I'll give you a hint. Here we go. This is it, Mock. You have to guess. This Daily Show host and comedian has always been at his righteous best when advocating on behalf of veterans and first responders. And this is Politico's words, not mine. In some ways, he's already a shadow VA secretary.
Jon Stewart.
Gosh,
you got to be kidding me. Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I'm literally at some point, and I kept thinking to myself, wait a second, this isn't The Onion, is it? Because but it gets better. Let's go down to that very important position, the Shadow Secretary of Homeland Security. Now, you're thinking to yourself, who's ready to fight for America? Who's got that law enforcement, maybe that executive experience? This is a tough one, right? You want someone who understands what it's going to take to protect the nation, Daisy. This one is someone who, unless you've cheated, there's no way you'll get.
How do you top Mayorkas, right? Like how somebody Mayorkas? I don't.
Oh, I know how.
Tell me.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Okay, Mock, I'm going to try to throw some hints your way again.
Give us
this
a hint.
Undocumented immigrant who came from Brazil when she's a child married John after he became mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania.
I feel like I'm on a game show.
Oh my gosh, is it Giselle?
It is Giselle.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. You get a washing machine, Mock. That's what you win.
Oh my gosh.
That's
who better to
unbelievable.
lead our nation's homeland security than someone who's an undocumented person in this country?
Makes sense.
That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then that way you can be completely for open borders because you yourself aren't in the country legally. Yeah. You know what? The upside is that instead of having to worry about one Fetterman, you would be able to worry about two Fettermans.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's just what we need. That's right there.
Well, let's keep going down this road of hits because there's an individual who is eminently qualified to lead and be the shadow EPA administrator. I'm going to either one of you think about who would be great to lead the Environmental Protection Agency, who is just got
Al Gore.
He would be. That would be a
Greta
good one.
Thunberg. Greta, what's her name?
Oh, Thunberg.
She's
Yes.
what is she? 19 now. She can handle it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
She's got a whole new gig though.
That's
She's
right.
doing like Palestine stuff.
That's right. She's hating Jewish people. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, she's
I
like,
forgot.
I'm done with the environment. Well,
That's
this
right.
gentleman, because I think neither Al Gore's Nobel Peace Prize winning wonky earnestness nor Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez energetic utopianism has done the trick. Why not give, this is Politico, why not give Bill Nye the Science Guy a shot?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah?
My
Bill
gosh.
Nye the Science Guy.
He doesn't even have a degree in science, does he? Like he doesn't.
That you and your qualifications.
There,
All right.
Daisy.
But again, this one now may shock you for the shadow United States Trade Representative nominee from Politico. Who
Okay.
better to lead this effort? Who has the trade experience? I'm gonna give you the hint of all hints because I didn't see this one coming, and I still am bewildered by it. Okay,
Trade.
Can you name a person? Person. That's a hint.
Person.
No. But if I do it this way, Bueller.
Ben Stein?
Ben Stein. Great. Yes, this is
Why?
Politico's pick for shadow United States. Well, for a dose of real economic star power, Democrats should do all they can to recruit the most famous opponent of tariffs out there. Longtime Trump supporter, Ben Stein. You know Stein from other things, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, as the monotone high school economics teacher, right? That's who they think should do this.
Star power.
Not to mention, star power. I mean, because he's against tariffs, that's the guy that we should bring in.
Oh
I cannot believe this. This is where we're at. But you know what? I will mention this because Mock, you led off with this. The nominee for shadow administrator of the Small Business Administration. She is a woman that has put her finger on the pulse of America before, clearly understands the challenges of small businesses and regulations. You named her early on. Who do you think we should put there?
I mean, that's got to be the Nikki Glaser spot.
That's got to
right?
be the Nikki Glaser.
Because why not put a
why
stand-up
not?
comedian who's
Okay.
had a lot of plastic surgery in small business
It
administration?
makes complete sense.
It
right?
does. If you think about it, let me give you Politico's write-up on this. This is what they write. This is a direct quote. Okay, hear me out on this one. What is a comedian but a small business entrepreneur and traveling content salesperson? Of course, Nikki Glaser's value to a Democratic shadow cabinet is not her deep knowledge of how government regulations impact small business. Because why do that? But it's clear that she has become America's roaster-in-chief who can fearlessly pick apart the biggest celebrities from Tom Brady to Alec Baldwin.
What does that have to do with small businesses?
What do you mean?
You.
What?
This just shows, Sean. This shows that they have no bench. Their bench is there's no bench.
Oh my God. I literally was like, I thought like this is serious. I mean, I get that it's like, but you know, when you go to those meetings, and I'm sure you guys have been to them at some point, it's like, all right, look, let's brainstorm. No idea is a bad idea. Just throw something out there. Like these are the meetings when I would raise my hand and be like, I'm sorry, those are bad ideas. Those actually are bad ideas. Like,
don't put that to paper. Don't put that.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to disrespect you.
Uh-huh.
No good.
Right.
Like,
It's terrible.
I can't, even in my imagination, like I don't go, you know who would be a funny administrator? Like, I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And yet Politico wrote this, not The Onion.
Right. But these are the same people. You have to remember, these are the same people that propped up a guy like Weekend at Bernie's, and he wasn't actually running the country, and they wanted everybody to believe that he was. And now we have people running around saying, oh, no, it's fine. Biggest scandal in American history.
All right.
No,
Well,
and but am I the only one that also finds it really odd timing that Politico would be talking about a shadow cabinet when that's the whole last administration that we had?
Exactly.
That's already being talked about, and it looks so bad. And so for them to be like, hey, here's our ideas for another shadow cabinet,
Mhm.
maybe that's not, that
Maybe
just
you
seems a little
should
tone deaf.
Zip. You should zip. Right.
but I look and I go, seriously, guys, if you got Pete talking about porn and then them suggesting Nikki Glaser to head up SBA. And I'm like, oh my God, like at some point, like I go, all right, this isn't fair. Like we'll help you. We're going to send you back RFK. Like we got to give you back a player. Like
We're gonna give you back Tulsi. No, we don't want to give back Tulsi.
I mean,
no.
I don't know, but I'm just saying at some point, like, I don't feel like this is fair anymore. We're like, we took RFK, we took Tulsi, they got their, they had Kamala, and now like Pete's grown a beard, and Tim's out there code talking about reaching out to dudes. I'm like, this is like, I don't mean to get cocky, but my goodness, like, this is bad. Like when you're literally like, if I were a Democrat and I saw Politico write a story like this after watching Pete talk about porn, Kamala make fun about how she's unemployed, and then the cackle that she does, like at some point you're like, oh, we're screwed. Like I got to go somewhere else. Like what's happening in Canada? Maybe we should go there.
But they don't, because they have zero self-awareness. Because what are they spending? 20 million? What was the 20 million that they're spending on trying to figure out? Yeah, they're like, we don't understand why, we're losing. We don't understand all these things. They have zero self-reflection. They don't understand how to look inward and go, we're the problem. It's us.
Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.